What is your name and what is your current occupation?
Thank you, Eris. Pleased to be on the program. My name is Ejike. I am the founder and CEO at Ifian Health. We are a small, young health tech startup started in San Francisco a couple of years ago, but focused solely on the African continent. We are trying to address healthcare needs as well as business development needs in sectors that we historically ignored on the continent. And that's what I do.
Perfect. What were you doing before moving back and starting your company? What were you doing in California, and what was your life like?
Thanks so much, Aries. Life wasn't bad. I'm quite grateful. Life was good. For some context, so college was in Missouri. After college, moved to Minneapolis. From Minneapolis, moved to Cleveland. Eventually moved to Indiana for my grad school. And the idea was, as a young Black man, the question was, there are very few Black businesses that are multi-generational. Most times they kind of go down after the founder, the owner, moves on. So my question to myself was, how do these guys do it? How do the Wests do it? And how does it happen in the West, right? And I went to learn how it works. So when I finished my grad school in India, and I joined a company called Abbott, Abbott, based out of Chicago, but I chose to be in California because honestly I was tired of the cold. I've done Midwest for most of my life, so I went someplace warm. So moved out of California and chose an opportunity to really learn how the game is played, because these multinationals understand how the world works. And the key lesson is to build fundamentals that will survive beyond the individual, right? So started working in the US market, North America, moved to Latin America, moved to Middle East, Asia, did Africa as well. And the secret was, whenever there was time for promotion, I would say no and say I want to move lateral for a new opportunity. That allowed me to, in over a few years, work on 4 continents, more than 20 countries, right? So I will not complain. Life was good. The usual perks, as you know, Eris, flights, business, first class, hotels, the best the world has to offer, the capitalism of America, corporate America, right? Stock options, everything. But, I also realized that I easily can give you what they call the golden handcuffs, right? You have, grown folks managing your flights and schedules and hotels and so forth. And you have the perks of flight that you don't want to leave. And I always told myself that my dream is bigger than anybody can give me. So I got to build it myself. So, but I want to learn how others have done it, how the multinationals have done it. And after a couple of years, after checking off multiple countries, continents, multiple functional roles, I've done from marketing to country management. I've done from upstream, downstream. I've managed teams. I've done in-house, ex-house, local, international, and so forth. It was time to go. And that time I left. Thanks for asking, but I would say that life wasn't bad. However, I had to build my own. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Now, since you have such a great life and everything was kind of, looking good for you, what were the daily frustrations that you were feeling that really led you to living that life and really start your own business and moving back home to Nigeria, etc.? So I just want to get a sense of what was, bothering you on a daily basis.
Yeah, so a couple of things. One was that I realized that as Black folks, Africans, we tend to be subservient. We are not at what I call the table of influence. All my friends know this. I always say that the table of influence is full. There are no extra seats, no extra chairs. Nobody wants you there because they run the show. I refuse to not be at that table of influence. So how do you get there? You have to earn your space, earn your credits, as someone be in that room, and you gotta get rid of somebody there, or move people around. You have to elbow somebody to get on that table of influence, because that table is where it happens. So I was tired of, even though life was good, but I was only one person that was told what to do. I ran regions and countries and so forth. I wasn't in charge, right? And most Black folks are not in charge, right? I mean, let's be honest. How many Black folks are CEOs of multinationals? Very few. Most of us end up in HR and legal. These are cost centers, not revenue centers, right? So I had to change that myself, and that just pissed me off every day, right? And by the way, there was a layoff that happened in my company for 6 months. I saw grown men and women crying. They got laid off. I promised myself, the day I got laid off or fired, I will not cry. I will literally shake hands and be like, guys, peace out, right? So it was realizing what I wanted to do as a person, but also the challenge that has been being black and being male in the West, being in the US, right? You have to be all manage yourself well, manage your emotions well. You can't get angry, no hoodie, no. I mean, it's tough because we are a table of influence. So these are things that really got me to think, and I really want to make sure that the continent has to rise in its own way. And I want to do my own contributions. Do I see myself as a game changer? Of course not. But do I want to contribute my own 2 cents? Absolutely.
So talking about 2 cents, your contribution, can you tell me now that you've been running your company for a couple of years, can you give me a sense of the impact that your business had in the community, and also give me a sense of how satisfied you are now versus what what you were doing prior to that?
Yeah, no, thanks for asking that. So before I even talk about the satisfaction in my company today, I will talk about briefly satisfaction before my last days in my old company. So I convinced my old company, Abbott, to create a Africa only division, because most companies have US, Latin America, or US, Canada, Latin America, Asia, EMEA, Europe, Middle East, Africa, which is bullshit in my view, right? But the guy or lady, the person that runs EMEA is not worried about A in the EMEA. They're worried about E, Europe, M, right? Before A comes through. So I told a very senior person. I was fortunate to be mentored by a very senior person, that Abbott, and I said, EMEA doesn't make sense for Africa. You have to cut the A out, right? I want someone to wake up every morning to worry about what happens in Rwanda, in Botswana, in Cameroon, from Agadogi, Burkina Faso, to Conakry in Guinea. Well, when it's EMEA, you don't even know where Burkina Faso is. You don't even know where Guinea is. All you think is about Maghreb Africa, Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, South Africa, and maybe Kenya, Nigeria. That's it, right? So I'm like, it has to happen. So this person listened, cut Africa out, and I was the first employee of the pharma division for Africa in my old company, and I was able to recruit folks. So one of my biggest happiness was that my team, my old Abbott team, I challenged, these are young Africans, males, females and males. I'm like, guys, you have to compete with the rest of the world. And I'm happy to hear that my team succeeded and won awards, global awards. These are Black young men, raised on continents, that won on that platform. Now, after I left, I'm happy to say that my team at Ifian Health, we've done quite well, from 1 employee to about 21 by the end of last year. Right, we've had some reorganization that happened lately, and we're optimizing. I will set up the best clinical center for orthopedics on the continent, except South Africa and Rwanda. Our folks have been trained locally and in Europe, and we've been able to engage and form partnership across the board. So for me, when I look back, the gap between the African talent and the Western talent is about exposure, experience, training, and confidence. And that's what I've been able to bring to my team: the exposure, the experience, the training, and the confidence.
Okay, so now talking about the impact that your business and company has in the community, can you touch on that a little bit, how impactful you have been?
Part of what I did was to identify areas that have not been, as I mentioned earlier, focused on by multinationals in the West. And a key area is rehabilitation, from limb loss to post-traumatic events, post-stroke. Many of our parents, grandparents have had stroke. Many of our parents, grandparents have diabetes type 2, and that leads to limb loss sometimes. And to also some musculoskeletal solution for children. A good example is cerebral palsy. Many of our peers have children that have CP, autism. There are no solution for these kids on the continent. If you're rich enough, you'll fly to Europe or US. If you're not, quite frankly, you're screwed, right? So the impact we have had is that we've been able to provide the solutions locally. We have had parents that are happy their kids can move again. We have parents that are happy their kids can work again. We have adults that are happy they can go back to the office, get a job, be respected. We have had wives that are happy that their husband will still be able to take them out for dinners and events. We have had professionals that go back to the office. We've had people they tell us they have their life back. People that have been begging and worthless, because nobody believed in them. Now they are fully able-bodied and they have gainful employment, all right? And the society does no longer see them as worthless. So these are things that make me smile. These are things that make me wake up in the morning happy, all right? And that's in orthopedics. We've also worked with women's health as well back in my old job, and we have had people that want to get pregnant, have challenges, mothers and fathers, and happy that they worked because of the pharmaceutical solutions we had in my old life. So overall, traveling the world previously, you are solving problems for others. I didn't like that because I wasn't able to solve them for my people. Now, I'm happy that there are hundreds, thousands of people from my place, the continent, that the impacts have touched, be it from before I resigned when I was running West Africa, as well as with my current company now. And Eris, it's priceless. It's priceless. That's what I can say.